Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Oh, the Illuminati. Welcome back to another installment of Illuminati. What is going on, guys? Today I am back with a movie review, and let's talk about this movie because I've been waiting to see this. Anxiously, patiently waiting. Suicide Squad. James Gunn, directed by James Gunn. So this movie starts off in a very odd fashion where we see one of the members that Amanda Waller chooses to join, Suicide Squad in prison. Like the film, like it was kind of unique how they showed like the person from a direction. It had like a comic book feel to it. I like that cinematography. I was like, that's really cool. I like that they showed him in the actual jail cell and like flipped it. It felt like I was like getting into like a comic book, honestly. Let's talk about the story. So this story is very interesting, pretty much. I'm not gonna lie, it is. Literally, there are two teams that Amanda Waller, hires to go to this island and pretty much take out their president and also the general of the country because pretty much the government is pretty corrupt. Okay, so that's their mission. Apparently, team one that she originally sends in with Rick Flag, Rick Flag's team. He's the leader of the team. Pretty much his team, there are only two people left, him and another person, and then you have this whole other team that Amanda Waller has on the other side of the island, while the other team is risking it all, getting killed and everything. This movie is also bloody gore, and is rated R, so if you got kids, it's probably not a movie you want to see with your kids. Unless they're at that age where they can see that type of stuff. But literally the first teams that sacrificed themselves. Literally they were muses. I mean, all of them had died. There's a scene where Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn is also in the movie, played by Maggie Roberts, where you see her show some empathy to her dead member of her team. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, hey, take this. You're going to need this, Very interesting. But then we have Team 2. I like Team 2 a lot better. We have this character called Peacemaker, which is played by John Cena. Probably John Cena's best role. I've never seen John Cena play a role like this, so this was really cool. I know he's a wrestler, but, I think this role was meant for him, honestly. He's played by Peacemaker. We have Idris Elba played. That's also was Bloodsport in this movie. We also have King Shark, a Flash enemy. And we also have this shit that can control rats, okay? It's like the rat whisperer, all right? And throughout this movie, we learn about what is going on. Throughout this movie, they have chapter names. And I think this is another thing that I really liked about it. Each chapter had a name. And we saw the chapter name. Like when we got to one chapter and we were like, all right, we're on the next chapter. That felt like I was going through like a comic book to some extent, like just the wording and how it was like in images, the imagery. I really liked that about the film. But that was really cool. The next thing I want to talk about is just the characters' individualities. We see with Idris Elba character known as Bloodsport in the movie. I like the rivalry between him and Peacemaker. There was a rivalry between the two. And I really like that. You know what I'm saying? Idris Elba and John Cena really got into the roles. Like there was chemistry amongst the two actors. You know what I'm saying? Despite them having, opposite views of what they, were sent to the island for. I really like that between the two. Maggie Roberts, she does a dope performance as Harley Quinn. I mean, the scene where she messed around with the president and ends up killing him, it was interesting because you could see that after she broke up with Mr. J, we saw her like having trouble to deal with love. She admitted like, I don't know if I would ever want to be with someone again. Like that man broke me mentally, you know what I'm saying? So I did like that aspect of Harley Quinn. And we see her, off and on through the movie. I think each character had their own scenes. Like with Shark King, the Flash enemy, he reminded me of Groot so much. I was like, yo, this is DC's Groot. You know what I'm saying? His thing was he didn't have friends. He befriended the girl that could control rats. I thought that was really cool. And, he's just eating up people left and right in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And we understand that pretty much, he's a loner. He's a loner. You know what I'm saying? He eventually befriends the girl that can control rats. Also, we see with Peacemaker. We see Peacemaker and kind of how he is. Peacemaker is like, I'm the leader. He doesn't like that Bloodsport is in charge. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't like authority. We see him and Bloodsport go at it. And at the end, pretty much, Bloodsport has to do his thing. He has to handle his business. He ends up killing Peacemaker. I think the other thing that I really like about this film also is pretty much, the scenes, the battles, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the most gruesome battle, I honestly can say this, is Peacemaker versus Rick Flag. My God, that was brutal. I was like, holy crap. I was like, wait a minute. And it was just the craziest way that Rick Flag died. Because I thought for sure Rick Flag was going to kick John Cena's butt as Peacemaker. I was wrong. I was wrong, y'all. I was like, yo. That was interesting. Also, on top of that, we had another villain, which was another Flash villain, Thinker. The Thinker. I like the Thinker. His objective was he didn't like the politicians. He didn't like the political figures or people that kind of control society. He was like opposite. He just like, I'm against this type of stuff. So he had like an anarchist type of vibe to him. You know what I'm saying? Having distrust in the society and how it's ran by these particular corporations, these businessmen, these politicians. But I felt like I don't know. I felt like it should have been a little bit more to him. Like, I understood that they had to go to this tower where pretty much, literally, he was controlling these star-like creatures. That's another Superman villain. And literally call him Star Rose, and I just felt like, his role could have had a little bit more to it, but I understood why it wasn't like that. Also in this movie, I think just pretty much like each character having their own time, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when they have too many characters in a movie, it doesn't always necessarily work. You know what I'm saying? I think with Suicide Squad, it worked because we were introduced to the first team briefly. Briefly, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, well, I understand why briefly, because most of them were killed off, The second scene, we learned a lot more about, you know what I'm saying? We learned about Bloodsport, why he decided to take on the mission that Amanda Waller gave him. Pretty much, he didn't want his daughter to go down the same path that he was going as a criminal because she was doing the wrong things in her life. I was like, okay, that makes sense. The other characters, I guess, they had their own interests too, and it pretty much was freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bloodsport said, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? If I can get my freedom back, just like the other people wanted their freedom back as well. The other thing that really stood out for the film was they used one of Batman's villains. I forgot to mention Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man was absolutely hilarious, okay? Like, his power was his downside to him. You know what I'm saying? Him being a villain, I said, bruh. I was like, his power is messed up. Like, if he keeps the polka dots on him too long, he starts to get a virus. There's a scene where Bloodsport's like, hey, yo, what's going on, bro? Why you over there swelling up, looking like you about to blow up? He's like, I gotta release my polka dots, a certain amount of times. If not, I am a living virus. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna die from this living virus because This is what happened to me. We find out about Polka Dot's origins. Kind of a creepy origin, man. I'm not gonna lie. This is like one of the Batman villains that I don't know much about. So I'm glad that James Gunn worked with like dealing with villains that some of us don't know about with DC, which was really cool. I think the other funny moment, because there's some funny moments in this film. When Polka Dot Man sees everybody as his mama, I said, my God. He looked around. He said, what do you see? I see my mama. I said, bruh, this man is wild. But I'm sure it's a phobia, y'all. What if anyone can tell me in the comments, what is the phobia of your parents? I'm sure there are phobias for just about anything. But literally, I was like, bruh, this is the craziest phobia. But his powers was deadly, though. I'm not going to lie. Throwing polka dots, you know what I'm saying? Throwing them. I was like, wow. I think personally the film, you know, towards the end, we saw things kind of transition. Like, I like that the flashbacks kind of were included in the film, kind of to like show you what happened maybe a couple days before or a few hours before. I think that really kind of transitioned with the film. Sometimes that happens and you're just like, this don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So the flashbacks weren't like in your face, like every time you look around, flashback. It was like, all right, we got a flashback for a certain amount of scenes. And I think that worked out really well. And for the ending, I gotta say it was very interesting because there's also another death. I'm like, yo, RP to Polka Dot Man. Yo, I was not expecting him to die. I thought for sure that maybe Bloodsport or maybe King Shark would have died, honestly. Or the girl that can control rats. I was like, man, one of them gonna die. I was wrong, you know what I'm saying? But the ending, we see them come together to fight one of Superman's villains that's able to take like it's a living starfish thing. Literally, and it can take over like people, like it's a parasite, like life form. It latches on to a life form and controls it. The battle between them versus Suicide Squad was very interesting. We seen King Shark. He was doing this thing. He was biting into him. He was eating soldiers. And stuff like that. And we see him bite into this like starfish, like alien-like creature. But you know, eventually Harley Quinn comes around and steals the show. By Maggie, Maggie Roberts plays. And I think personally, I like the performance. Like, you know, pretty much Polka Dot Man died. He lost one member, right? King Shark tried. He got threw away. You know what I'm saying? Bloodsport, hey, he did his thing too. He was taking out the little small versions of the starfish alien thing. And pretty much we see the girl that can control rats. She came to the rescue. Her and Harley Quinn stole the final performance of them defeating this starfish villain called Starro, that's Superman's villain. And I think the ending I was satisfied with. We saw, there are some other funny scenes too. Let me just talk about these other two funny scenes where they were bidding on, like Amanda Waller's team was bidding on who was gonna like literally be alive or dead. I love how they made bids on the actual characters. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, they making bids. Oh, so and so gonna die. He gonna survive, die, survive, die, survive. That was really interesting. And I like that Bloodsport stuck up for his team. You know, when he finally got the call from Amanda Waller, he pretty much said, yo, look, everybody want their freedom. You know what I'm saying? If you can't do that, then, you know, the deal is off. You know what I'm saying? Because he went against his orders, you know what I'm saying, to save people from being controlled by this organism, you know what I'm saying, this starfish organism that kind of latches on and becomes like a parasite to them. We also saw that his daughter looked at him as a hero because he didn't have the best relationship with his daughter. You know what I'm saying, it was very dysfunctional when he saw her again. I think that really worked for the film. But at the ending, I was satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Seems like Harley Quinn got her freedom. Bloodsport got his freedom. King Shark got his freedom. The girl that can control rats got her freedom. You know what I'm saying? We lost a couple people, like I said. And like I think the film itself, it had just enough. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like over the top with everything. It's like I said, it's a lot of action. You know what I'm saying? We're looking for something that's got action in it. A lot of action. There is a story. And like I said, we see James Gunn do something a lot better than the original director. You know what I'm saying, with this film. So I definitely gonna give this film, like honestly, I'm gonna give this film a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. You heard it from me. Because I saw the changes. You know what I'm saying? The other Suicide Squad was directed by a different director. But I think James Gunn did a really nice job with this movie. I mean, DC is literally like, hey, look, we want you to come back and do some more DC movies. Please, James Gunn, do us the honor, please. Because I'm like, hey, this sounds great. But this is your boy Ill Blur Matic, guys. Have you seen the newest Suicide Squad movie? Until next time, guys, have a great day. And you know I'll be back. Take care, guys.